Latinos for Trump is such an embarrassment.
I'm in Chicago and I spoke to a restaurant owner in a predominantly Latino part of the city who told me the losses his business is seeing right now because of this climate of fear, as he described to me. You typically see 65 to 70 on a Saturday, and you saw 17.
17 orders, and we usually, we stay open till 4. We never close early.
Yeah.
But we had no other option this Saturday to close at 2 o'clock. It was ghost town.
Last couple of weeks, there has been so many rumors around that a lot of people are being so scared and afraid that they have not been able to get out of their home. A lot of people in the community have been very scared, are being told basically by other family members not to even go outside. I mean, literally, we have food that got rotten because people did not came over to shop. It's not just my business. I have seen the impact in all the Latino business in the community. A lot of restaurants right now are at the border of closing for good. Even my business, we went down, 40% on our sales.
I've been in business now for 43 years. My parents started it back in 1983. I saw the sacrifice, their hard work, the devotion to our family and the community.
In East LA, Antonio Hernandez is running the family restaurant his parents built from the ground up. But keeping that legacy alive is getting harder as immigration issues and labor shortages put pressure on small businesses.
Right now, we're going through really difficult times. I could start off with telling you we've lost about 30% of business. In addition to that, there's inflation. Tariffs are going to get kicked in soon. Last but not least, all the rates, the immigration rates that have affected our people. People are scared. They're not coming out. We see it in the sales.
In Chicago, Latino neighborhoods are feeling the impact of immigration raids, not just in homes, but in local businesses. This comes as federal agents have made over 1,000 arrests in the Chicago area since September as part of Operation Midway Blitz, claiming they're targeting the worst of the worst criminals. Lisa says fear isn't just among customers, it's among her team too. Restaurants to gas stations, sales have dropped across Pilsen and Little Village, Chicago's largest Latino neighborhoods.
So, this another FO story for y'all. I mean, they coming by the day now. They coming by the day. So you had this Latino guy who voted for Trump. And he ran a detail shop, detail car, truck, vans, whatever. So he was on TV yesterday, sad because he finna lose his business because there's no Latinos coming to the detail shop. Remember, it's 100% Latinos who come to this shop, and he voted for Trump. Now that Trump got all this mass deportation shit coming in and doing all this crazy shit, the Latinos ain't coming around in places because they're running up in businesses. He will have to close down in 60 days because in 2 months, the last 2 months, he had one person bring their car in. One person.
So circling back to how I've been feeling so many good and bad emotions at the same time for months now. Just this morning I was crying because I'm struggling to figure out how to make ends meet without having to go back to corporate or a 9-to-5.
Wow. Where's the people? Silence. This is all because of the immigration law.
It's Friday, 11:45 a.m. Ain't not one Mexican inside, not one food truck, no music, no tools going.
The Hispanic workforce is pretty much gone out here.
Our workers, the Hispanics, they will be up there. They don't want this to get wet. All those houses are sold, getting wet more than they have to and getting destroyed by the humidity. Well, they pay for them already.
Usually these will be worked on every day in, day out. Ain't nobody working. Not a soul.
Where do you stand as far as like the research and investigation of a business before you go and support and spend your money at that business? Does it matter to you if the Latino-owned business that you're going to, if they support the current administration or not?
I just saw somebody comment that we should support all Latino businesses. Does not matter who they support politically. Okay, that's what they wrote. They said it doesn't matter who they supported politically. Listen, the moment and what we live in right now, este momento, to be a person to know that this business is supporting what is happening or voted in that way, that money does not go to you.
If you're undocumented in this country, the people that will rob you, mistreat you, and humiliate you in the workplace are Latinos.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Joy Report, where we get an outsider's view with an insider's clarity. They believed in him, the billionaire who promised to fight for the forgotten men and women of America. Many Latino voters saw DT as the tough-talking businessman who'd lift their communities, protect their jobs, and make small businesses thrive. They proudly wore their red hats, defended him at family dinners, and said he gets it. But now, that belief has turned into deep regret. Across the country, the same Latino business owners who once praised DT are watching their dreams collapse under the very policies they voted for. Before we proceed, all credit goes to the creators of these videos. Let's watch a few more clips and I'll be back with more commentary.
I also want to make a special video for everybody commenting on my video saying they vote for Trump for the economy, especially my fellow Latinas. First, can you tell me the difference between micro and macroeconomics?
Abrí mi florería el 6 de enero del 2009 y te puedo decir que este 14 de febrero fue muy difícil.
Es Thanksgiving, Navidad y Año Nuevo, muy fuerte, muy bueno, pero ahora no lo sentimos nada, estaba la mitad de lo que hemos sido antes.
Let's talk about the lack of education in the Latino community and how that ties to them voting Republican. A lot of it is religious, but education takes a big part of it. Republicans have been actively pushing people away from higher education, cutting funding, banning DEI, and pushing trade-only routes. Why? Because the more educated you are, the more likely you are to vote progressive. Limiting education keeps people vulnerable to political and religious propaganda. So when you combine religion with limited education, you create the perfect storm for conservative votes. And if you don't question it, you risk trading our future for so-called family values. Let's not pretend like the percentage of educated Latino men are not going down. Statistics show that when you have a bachelor's degree, you're more likely to vote Democrat, especially when you're a person of color. Most people don't even know how the government works. The number of Latinas getting higher education continues to go up. But what about the men? Because that number keeps going down.
For years, many Latino voters proudly backed DT, drawn to his image of strength, business success, and promises of a booming economy. They wore their red hats, waved their flags, and told anyone who'd listen that DT got things done. To them, he wasn't just a politician. He was proof that the American dream still existed for people willing to work hard and speak up. But fast forward to now, and that dream is falling apart. Across the country, Latino small business owners who once cheered for DT are watching their livelihoods crumble, from construction workers in Texas to restaurant owners in Florida. The same people who voted for DT's America First policies are now realizing they might have put themselves last. Many of them believe DT would lift up small businesses, cut red tape, and make it easier to thrive. But what they didn't see coming were the hidden costs: the trade wars, the labor shortages, the soaring inflation that hit immigrant-owned businesses hardest. When DT's rhetoric about closing borders turned into action, it choked the very labor pipelines that kept Latino-run industries alive. In places like Arizona and Nevada, where Latino construction crews once flourished, job sites have gone quiet. Workers are scarce, costs have exploded, and some of those same contractors, men who once said DT is good for business, are now saying he ruined it. A Cuban American who proudly voted for DT twice said he believed DT's immigration stance would bring order, but when the new restrictions made it nearly impossible to find seasonal workers, his business stalled. His once busy phone was silent. And it's not just labor. Many Latino entrepreneurs have been squeezed by the ripple effects of DT's trade policies. Tariffs on imports raised prices for materials, lumber, steel, even basic goods. For small restaurant owners, that meant higher food costs and lower profits. The big operations could absorb it, but mom and pop shops couldn't. Then came the travel restrictions and boycotts that have robbed tourism-dependent areas like parts of Texas, California, and Florida, where Latino-owned souvenir shops, food trucks, and hotels rely on international visitors. DT's harsh tone on immigration and diversity turned away tourists who used to fill those same streets. And here's the bitter irony. Many of these Latino voters saw DT as the businessman president. They thought his success in real estate meant he understood their struggles, but what they didn't realize was that DT's brand of business has always been about power, not people. He was never a small business owner trying to feed his family. He was a mogul who thrived on division and control. Now, those divisions are playing out within the Latino community itself. Families who once debated politics over dinner are now divided. Some still cling to the belief that DT will fix it, while others are waking up to the fact that he broke it. And the regret is setting in. Across social media, former Latino DT supporters are posting about how they feel used, that their votes were quoted for optics, but discarded when real policy decisions came down. The pain goes deeper than politics. It's about betrayal. These voters believed in the promise of a fair shot, of working hard and being rewarded, but instead, they've watched corporations thrive while their small enterprises crumble. They've seen tax cuts that favor the rich and policies that pushed immigrant families further into struggle. And while DT still brags about record economies and booming business, the truth truth on the ground tells a very different story. The pandemic relief programs many small business owners depended on, most of the funds went to big companies, while minority-owned businesses, especially Latino ones, were left scrambling. Even now, as many try to rebuild, the ripple effects of those policies continue to haunt them. Rising costs, stricter regulations, and a culture of fear have made it harder to hire, harder to grow, and harder to believe in the system they once defended. What's worse, some Latino MAGA supporters say they can't even talk about their regret openly. They face backlash from the same conservative circles they once called home, accused of betraying the cause for simply admitting they were wrong. But that's the thing about politics built on division. Eventually, it divides everyone, and for many in the Latino community, the lesson has been learned the hard way. When you vote for someone who doesn't respect your roots, your labor, or your dreams, you're not voting for your future, you're voting against it. Now, as more stories emerge of shattered shops, lost jobs, and broken trust, the message is becoming clear. Supporting the tea wasn't just a political choice, it was a gamble, and for many, it's one they deeply regret, because in the end, when the promises fade and the bills pile up, reality always hits harder than rhetoric. So what do you all think? Do you think these Latino voters were misled, or did they ignore the warning signs? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to keep this discussion going. Otherwise, that's it from me. I also have another video specifically tailored for you, and if you enjoy such kind of content, please click up here and enjoy. Also, kindly join my channel and I would really appreciate it. Lastly, consider subscribing, liking and sharing because it helps me grow my channel and helps YouTube recommend this video to a wider audience. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until the next time, the Joy Report out.